continuing on the journey of transitioning my professional business from events to focus on portraiture, both personal and I don't know, industry, right? Like a lot of editorial, fashion stuff. Um, there's a lot to learn here, and I've done so much research around it, and ultimately, the thing that has paid off the more is just doing it, just doing it. And it's not that I don't know how to set up a 3, 4 light, 1 light, like that's okay. It's not that I don't know how to position a subject in relations to the the backdrop or the key light and the inverse square law, whatever they call it. Like that's okay. It's about the anxiety of knowing and respecting another genre in my craft. And I never like to fall victim to looking at someone's work and saying to myself, "Oh, that's easy. I can do that." That was a mistake I made like year 1 or 2 on my photography journey, and I'm many years removed from that. And it's not until you pick up a camera with intention and then go do it do you realize how difficult these things are. And I hear people talk about event photography in that manner, and I've been doing it for so long, right? 3+ years, I think is long. Um, there's a thing about doing event photography. You are entering a space where you are often one of the least known people in the room, right? Everyone that's at this, let's take a birthday celebration. This birthday celebration, it's all friends and family here. Everyone knows you, and you're the one that now has to form a relationship or connection with people within seconds of them walking through the door, right? And you need to do that whether you're in front of them or not, because how you present in that space controls the energy people have when you're asking them to capture a photo, to cement a moment, or even when you're capturing candids of them interacting with the people. Like you're totally in control of that. So it's not an easy thing, and it in itself was very difficult. And I say that to say, now that I'm transitioning into portraiture, for a brief moment, I told myself, whoa, I can do this in a room full of 50 or 60 people. Why can't I do this in a room full of one, a model, right? And it can be even more difficult, right? And what I've learned since I've decided to, nope, head forward, and the best way to do it is to just do it. No more doing research, no more reading books, watching videos, like just do it. I booked four models in a span of 5 days, and I shot them all in a 2 day radius. And it was that back-to-back repetition that was like, okay, I'm starting to gather the information I need on what this is, what this could be about, what this could mean, the things that I need to work on, and the things that work in my favor. And so the long and short of it is how I'm currently feeling. I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling like I can do this. I'm feeling like I know I can do this. And I'm feeling like I know what muscles I need to continue to rep. And I know what muscles I need to start to stretch in order to grow to where I would like to be. So a great example, one of the models, he came in, and I make it a point, right? So what I do, yes, these are primarily fashion models, runway models. They do a lot of editorial work. I'm quite floored by the response, by the way, because they generally all respond. It's just a matter of scheduling. So I was able to get these guys. They were these men and women. They had availability, and there are a few. I've got like 4 or 5 that I'm still communicating with trying to figure out when we can get to shoot, how we're gonna do it, what concepts we're coming up with. I'm floored that they all respond. And these are models that do runway of Fashion Week every year in New York. These are models that's been in Vogue and Harper's Bazaar, and it's like, do you wanna work with me? Like, I took a shot and they answered, right? So I was very happy for that. But part of how I work with the models, which doesn't necessarily reflect the world I'll be going into, but for me, it's been very valuable because I'm always keeping my business side of my business clientele in front of mine, meaning headshots and portraiture, right? One of the things in my short pipeline is going to businesses and say, hey, I can capture headshots of everything you do here, or lifestyle shots for your business and your social media, yada, yada, yada. So I sent an intake form to all the models, right? Like, who are you? What are these photos for? What is it you want to do with them? Tell me a bit about yourself, your favorite song, your favorite movie. What do you like to do in your downtime? And then based on that, I put together a list of shots and a shot list and things I think would be good to capture about that model. And that's how I execute. And for me, it was important because the first thing I wanted to do outside of my friendly communication to them, and they responded to, I wanted to deepen the relationship and the connection. And that's by showing that I care about them as a person. They're not just a pretty mannequin that moves, right? And one of the models in particular, they all did the exact same thing, but one of them in particular, man, we sat right here and we spoke for like 30 minutes, man to man, as a black man to a black man, and our experiences. And yo, that conversation was so meaningful to me. It was such an uplifting conversation. We went up, down, left, right, family, relationships, professional aspirations, creative aspirations, how we need to support each other as men, how we need to support each other as black men, and the core of mental health, and how we need to be mentally healthy and strong and stable for the longevity of our lifetime, and the way we interact in our circles. Like, at the end of that conversation, the conversation never ended, by the way, because as we were shooting, it continued. But at the end of the initial conversation, we knew we could trust each other. I knew that whatever feedback or input I gave him, he trusted in me. And I know whatever feedback or input he gave me, he knew that I trusted and believed in him. And that was such a, like, if nothing at all, I thought that was an amazing experience, one that I hold dear in my photography journey. And it's meaningful to me because my current direction is to control who steps in front of my camera for so many reasons, right? Because of the world that we live in and what's happening in our society. And I'm just taking a stance in a little bit that I can, and modeling for my daughter and my family. I'm in control of who I choose, whose story I chose to capture. And I quite like it that way, right? Like, you do your protest and you stand for what you stand for in ways you can. And this was a small way for me, but it was such a reminder that my first foot forward in connecting with people who sit in front of my camera is of the utmost importance, because I'm not just here to take money. I'm here to capture a person in their authenticity, in who they are, and the best they want to be, the best they can be, someone exuding confidence in their craft. I'm here to capture all of that. And I truly and honestly believe I can't do that without first understanding and connecting to who this person is. And it's been such a meaningful journey. And like I said, I've had that connection. This was just the strongest, this particular gentleman, but I've had that connection with all my models. I've had a strong connection with one of the other models, to the fact where he's tagged me. He's created the post on Instagram and tagged me as a creator or collaborator. And like, the posts are going nuts. And I'm getting like 50 followers a day. Like, it's insane what's happening. And it's because I connected to him on a personal level, and he wants to help me. And it's like, whoa, like the human element of what we do and whatever we do should be first. I continue to relearn that lesson and rediscover the value in that concept. But yeah, as I continue to go, I continue to hone my craft. I continue to get the reps of what I'm doing as a portrait photographer. And I really like what's happening here. There's a lot of the technical things about composing the image, you know, shooting wide to make sure I have enough data to compose and post. There's a lot about the lighting setup that I'm using, which you guys kind of see here, right? Like I've got two rim lights, two rim/hair lights. I quite like that look for my portraiture, but here I'm using one light and then a reflector here. So I'm gonna try this setup. I have a client coming through tonight, and I wanna try just this setup here. Instead of two lights, running a I think it was was it a 1:4 lighting ratio I would run, which is, I guess, your key light is exposed to correctly, and then your fill light is four stops underexposed. I'm gonna try just a reflector to give a little bit more of this drama, right? I'm curious what that looks like. So continuing to explore in my lighting setup, continuing to think about how I want to approach editorial work. Editorial work, what I'm finding that's so dope about it, it's literally a team sport. And this is what's difficult about coming into being an editorial photographer right now. Usually in the industry, you'll find there's a creative director. And that person is the one with the vision, and they go find a photographer to execute. There's hair, there's makeup, there's a stylist. And all of these are so pivotal. The photographer is not the most important piece of this. We all share an important piece of the pie, and the model, right? So for me to try to shoot this work on speculation, which means I'm going out and shooting as if I was a part of a team, it's quite difficult. But it's also nice to flex a muscle, to build a muscle, you know, tear that muscle to have it build up. What is it I'm looking for? Can I execute something? Can I come up with an editorial concept on my own and then go find a model? You know, and as time goes by, I have 2 or 3 makeup artists that I reached out to that I want to use, and they're both willing to collaborate. All 3 of them are willing to collaborate. One of them's like, hey, here's my price, and I have no problem with that. I have 3 or 4 models that I really like. One of them is paid, and I have no problem with that. Now I have to find here, right? And I'm thinking to myself, when I get these pieces together, I'm not gonna shoot this in my home studio, because part of the problem in my home studio is I can't get the lights high enough. So I wanna experiment with butterfly lighting, but I can't get the lights up there. So I'm gonna have to go rent a space, and that's not a big deal. But any one of these things are so, when you're first doing it, they're intimidating. But as you make your way through it, you're like, oh, nah, it's not that bad. I'll just get on Peerspace and look for a space that already has the equipment. So I just need to show up with my camera and my model and my makeup artist and my hair artist and then the stylist. And then we just do what we do. Nothing about that seems crazy to me anymore, but I still need to do it. And so as I continue the journey and I'm still in the DMs all day talking to models. My task for this week, for the rest of this week, is to start to reach out to creative directors and learn the industry. Not only in a way where I don't want to take advantage of anyone's time. I'm not looking to get anything for free. But if someone's willing to collaborate because they got some side stuff they want to do, yo, holla at me. Let's do that together. And learn the language of creative directors. Learn the language of models. When it's all said and done, I am very much enjoying the journey. I am loving the things that I'm learning in a very geek type of way, like, wow, you got to think about this, you got to think about that. And then I love doing research. So everything I learn and I go do the research, it's like, oh wow, this is why people do that. This is why people do this. It's such a refreshing thing. And like I'm getting very passionate about it. And what's nice about that is the more passionate I get, the more time I invest in it, the better the results. And it's nice to see results in ways that I like and other people like. And it's encouraging to continue to go that way. Like you're onto something. Keep going. All in all, for me, listening to myself, trying to be better in the moment as things are happening, I am realizing that the imposter syndrome is losing the war. The imposter syndrome's still here, but it's losing the war. And I want to continue that trend. Thank you so much for sharing your time here with me today. I always say it's one of the most valuable resources that we have. And I do not take it lightly that you've shared yours with me here today. In the links down below, you can find links to all the equipment that I use here. Affiliate links, help your boy out. You can find discount codes to Retouch for me, a very valuable retouching tool, AI-driven retouching tool in my business. And you can find links to my websites, my professional websites, my creative website, on and on it goes. My name is Ramon. Thank you. I'm out of here. Peace.